Good afternoon, good morning. How are you doing, everyone that is watching at the moment? My name is Marvin, and I welcome you to Marvin 256. This is a wonderful podcast that you're on. If you're watching for the first time, I beg that you subscribe. And what brings us here today is something different. I have a young man with me here. He's soon going to be a teacher by profession, an author already with some good different books. Books are selling, they're making rounds in different schools and everywhere. So sit around, you're going to be blessed and you're going to love this. Today, as we go on, we have a debate. He's going to explain everything in detail. He has an association and comes from Kyambogo University. Let's welcome our man today and then we start. Welcome to our show today.
Thanks so much, my dear moderator.
Yes.
My name's Mchitamilike Emmanuel.
Yes.
And I do Bachelor of Science Education at Kyambogo University.
Oh.
I specialize in chemistry and mathematics, and I'm in my year 3.
Okay, Mchitamilike Emmanuel, what brings us here today? Why are we gathered here?
What brings us here today, as an association,
Yes.
I head an association that is Kyambogo University Science Teachers Association. And that association has organized a mega debate between year 1s and year 2s on the motion new curriculum is necessary in high schools. So we can just phrase it in a way that new curriculum is better than old curriculum.
Oh.
So one of those competing bodies is going to oppose, another one is going to propose.
Oh, okay, that's amazing. I think I've been years when I'm not in these things of debates, but I believe it's going to be a good and a wonderful competition. So take us back to the history or the background of the creation of the association.
Now, this association, the way it originated, when I reported here at Kyambogo in my year 1, that was 2023.
Yeah.
Yes, that's when I reported in my year 1. Now, when I reached here, I could see other groups of students.
Yes.
From different departments. They could have something that could bring them together. Then I could always ask ourselves, as science teachers, what brings us together?
In Kyambogo University.
In Kyambogo University. We meet, as students, we meet in classrooms, but now, what is special that can bring us together? And that's how when I went back for the holiday of that semester 1, I had something in my head which we can call a dream. That how can we come together also? How can we get united as science teachers in Kyambogo University? Now I thought of something bring us together, and that's how I thought of an association called Kyambogo University Science Teachers Association. Now, how was it even initiated in the university? Okay. Now, as I was in that holiday, I happened to be the coordinator of my colleagues. That is the chemistry class.
Yes.
And so, as I was in that holiday, we never had the lab coats, of course, but they are needed before you can do any practicals. So what I did was to mobilize my colleagues of the chemistry class.
Yes.
That can we contribute money and we get lab coats for our class? They said it is okay. Then I came up with an amount basing on the
market price.
Basing on the cost of production.
Yes.
I came up with a price, and so I informed everyone of the cost, and everyone was okay with it. And so when they were okay with it, I asked myself, what should I put on those lab coats? I said, let me put the name of an association that is in my head. That's what I should put there. I'm making for the chemistry class, but I thought of putting the name of the association on those lab coats. Okay. And that's how I came to put that name on the lab coats. And when I resumed for second semester, still in year 1, I had to start the move of starting the association.
So you started this association in year 1.
Yes.
Up to now, it has been there.
Yes.
So that's wonderful.
Now, in my year 1, semester 2, when I had just reported, I started consulting from different experts in the associations. How best could I start an association? And so they could advise me in different ways. And so I also started putting those advices in action. I had to start the moves. Of course, one of the requirements was to have the membership requirement.
Yes.
That was not having less than 35 members willing to start an association. Then the number 2 requirement was to have a constitution for an association. I had to start the meetings with those colleagues who were willing to join me in the move. And so when I started that move, I had to call all coordinators of every subject, because as science teachers, we have also different subjects. We have physics, we have chemistry, we have biology, we have mathematics, and so on. So I called all coordinators of every subject from year 1 to year 3. It was not easy for me as someone who had just come in year 1. It was very, very hard.
But you did this.
To convince those ones who were ahead of me, those ones who were in year 3s and year 2. It was very hard. But by God's grace,
You did it.
I did it.
That brings me to my question. Because of time, I want us to talk about, I see you have some beautiful things here. If you're watching, this is a book for chemistry from senior 1 to senior 4, written by our man here, Emmanuel. We have another book here for mathematics, right?
Yes.
Also here for you. But yeah, so I want us to talk about this book specifically for chemistry, because it's making rounds. People know about the book, but they don't know the author.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this book, before it came to exist, of course, as an association,
Yes.
We had some objectives. We have an aim and the objectives to achieve that aim. So among our objectives in an association, we're aiming at coming up with our own academic materials. And so to fulfill that, I had to start that initiative of coming up with our own academic materials. That's how I started writing this material. It is a new lower secondary curriculum, chemistry. Yes, that's how it came to exist like this. But someone may be having a question, how did I come to write it? Where did I get the knowledge?
Okay.
Of course,
Give them briefly.
how I got this knowledge of writing this book. When I reached here in Nyan, of course, I had the vigor of learning new things. And so that one made me to visit several schools when I had just come. I could just go in the name of volunteering. And so through that, I could learn a lot. I could get a lot of wisdom. I could learn a lot from those senior teachers in those different schools. And that's where I got the knowledge to write this. Yeah, majorly that for coming up with this book. I consulted so many experts, and so they gave me that knowledge of how to start this. Yes.
Talk about the main features of this book, like explain them.
Now, what is in this book? It has all notes from senior 1, all notes from senior 1 up to senior 4. I simplified notes for every chapter, running from the very senior 1 up to senior 4. And so what I could do, what could be special in this book, I could put sample activities of integration at the end of every chapter. And so I continue to make it more unique by putting sample end of cycle items.
Yeah.
When you talk of sample end of cycle items, I mean what could be the standard questions as per UNEB standard, that is old curriculum. But now what is called UNEB standard questions, it is now called sample end of cycle items. So I could put sample end of cycle items per the end of every chapter to summarize how that topic or how that chapter is assessed as per UNEB standards. That's how I did it for every chapter. Now I continue to do like this. At the end of the notes, I put the nature of assessment, how the paper is assessed, chemistry paper, how it is assessed, I put it, of course, running from section A up to section B. I outlined all that, I summarized it, and so what I did again, when I finished giving notes and also a nature of assessment, I put for you sample end of cycle items per element of construct, because in this new curriculum, they set questions which we call items basing on elements of construct. When you talk of elements of construct, that is the body of knowledge covering or housing topics having similar concepts. That is the elements of construct.
Okay.
So I put for you the sample end of cycle items per element of construct. Majorly in theory, we have 4 elements of construct, and in practical, we have 1 element of construct.
Okay.
So that is chemistry. I put for you that, and I could even put for you the sample responses. When I talk of sample responses, those are the possible solutions for such questions.
Okay.
Yes,
That's amazing. How can I get this book?
Okay. Now this book is assessed can be accessed in all those bookshops, especially those ones in Kampala along with Jinja Road.
Okay.
We can talk of Aristoc, it has them. When you talk of those ones behind Radio 1, they have them. Of course, when you go there, they are also at affordable prices. Yes.
Remind the people the title of the book.
The title of the book is A Concise Approach to New Lower Secondary Curriculum, Chemistry, from Senior 1 up to Senior 4. That is by Chitandike Emmanuel.
Give the people your number because we're about to go into our debate.
Okay.
And we'll move on. Yes.
Thanks so much, moderator. My number is MTN, which is the most active. It is 0787 49 41 13. Then Airtel, it is 07 07 06 84 76.
Amazing. So, people who are watching, by the way, this is not the only book. We also have this. I don't know. This one is also yours?
This is part of the association materials.
Oh,
yes.
But mainly, this is our book.
This is the one I wrote, but my colleagues also wrote this one here.
Oh.
And we are writing for every subject.
For your colleagues, we shall come later. But right now, we are here for Emmanuel.
Okay.
This is his book. Please support a young man like Emma. Support him and buy this book. It's good. It's wonderful. It has been recommended by many people. And I believe you're going to be blessed. It has beautiful questions. As he has said, simplified. Good for you. Right now, we're about to go into our debate, but promise people where the association is leading, like in 2 minutes, so that we go.
Okay. Now, this association, once again, it is called Kyambogo University Science Teachers Association. We always call it in short, CHUSTA. CHUSTA is the short form of that association. And our motto, it is promoting science education. You see, many people there have a bias on teachers, that teachers are poor, but for us, we believe teachers can't be poor. So we are promoting science education wherever we go.
Where do you see the organization in the next 2-3 years?
Okay, now
what is your dream?
This association, we are looking out to achieve certain things, and among those things, it is to have fully equipped with academic materials, which we have already started. But then in the future, what are we planning to have? We are planning to come up with our own examination bodies.
Okay.
As you hear those MOCO bodies, Wakisha, for us also we are planning ours.
Okay.
CHUSTA examination is a body. In addition to that, we are planning to have our own schools. We are planning to have our own schools, plus even reaching out to our students out there.
That's so wonderful. Yes. Your last final words to everyone that is watching, to the one that is going to watch the debate.
Okay.
Your final words.
My final word to everyone going to watch this video, first of all, and those ones going to watch the debate, I just encourage everyone that we should believe in ourselves. Of course, whenever I come up with a dream, a lot of things tend to discourage us. We tend to be demoralized by different people. Of course, those people always demoralize us. They failed in life.
Yeah, I know.
And so we should avoid that. Once you have a dream, just know it is coming from God and just focus on your dream and ask God to just give you that wisdom. And I call upon everyone to come and watch that debate. It is so fruitful. We are going to discuss about the new curriculum. And so I call upon all of you to come and watch. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Let's go into our debate and we'll see what our people are going to talk about. Is the new curriculum better than the debate is about?
We are trying to give the insights that new curriculum is better than old curriculum.
Yeah, is the new curriculum better than the old curriculum? We're going to find all of that in that debate. Thank you so much. Let's get into our debate.
I'm actually propitious in waiting for what comes from them. Yeah.
So you want to take the motion now?
No,
Yeah, this house believes that scientists don't know English. Yeah, we shall not go by that.
All right, definitely we can't go by that. Yeah, but hopefully let's have the first main speaker from the proposition side. That is year 2. Year 2. This is year 1. Year 1 is part of year 2. Yes. Year 1s are saying what this house is living in is actually insane. And these other people are saying, yes, it is definite that you should erase the new curriculum. Just like how the house is believing. Yeah. Hopefully, let's have the first main speaker from this side, the proposition side, that is the farmers.
Okay. So, okay, thank you very much. Our esteemed judges, the opponents, and the audience, good afternoon everyone. Actually, I'm so privileged to be with you at this particular moment. I'm so happy because the association has come up with this beautiful motion, or with this beautiful title that we shall discuss about today. Me personally, I'm called Nabio Jowanta, a year 2 student from ES. I personally I'm Nabio Jowanta from the ESB class, year 2. Besides me is the Honorable Musa Ujabe Sunday, also proposing the motion. Then the last one is Mbazira Uma, also has come to propose the motion. However, since we are dealing with the new curriculum and the old curriculum, and me as the first speaker, since it's all a question of education, we know very well that education is the backbone of every nation, but where the backbone is bent in the wrong direction, the entire body suffers. Therefore, today, this house believes that Uganda should revert the Uganda's old curriculum rather than continuing with the new lower secondary school curriculum, which is 100% true because of what has been evidenced so far with the results of the new curriculum so far produced. So, since even in skyscrapers, if a skyscraper on sun is started with its ambitions, it will fall within the meantime avoided. Therefore, if the new curriculum has been implemented and it's not objective, without the serious intentions, it will follow and it will not be effective within the time possible. Therefore, as the first proposer, I have my roles and duties because of the kind of the debate that we have chosen. So, allow me to take you through the basic concepts, the key terms that have been given in the motion. So, I will begin by defining a curriculum, whereby a curriculum is multi-phased. However, for simplicity, a curriculum is a standard-based sequence of learning experiences where students practice and achieve proficiency in content and applied learning skills. The old curriculum was the long study education structure, focusing on subject mastery and examinations, where the teacher played a central role in the process of delivering of acquisition of knowledge. The new curriculum is the recently introduced competence-based model meant to be learner-centered. However, 100% disagreeing with this recently introduced motion. And we as proposers, we argue that Uganda should return back to the old curriculum because it's a teacher-centered curriculum. It being a teacher-centered curriculum, or else in a class setting we expect orders. So without a head, without a commander, we may not gain what we intend to gain during the process of learning. Another thing is this only curriculum should actually be reverted back to because the curriculum emphasizes knowledge acquisition. And we know very well that in this Uganda, whoever is researching is looking for knowledge. And for you to be competent, you have to be knowledgeable. Therefore, the old curriculum should be reverted back to. Another thing is, this old curriculum had a simplified examination-driven assessments as far as assessments and evaluations is concerned. Because we know very well that since it had a standard curriculum, even the exams that we used to do were just marked by a given body, they would not give allowances for teachers also to grade their students in their final examinations. And that makes the curriculum effective because in this recent curriculum, we see that there is a lot of forgery, whereby we as teachers now we are corrupt. You cannot give your child less than 15 marks, even when the person has not been able to obtain those marks. Therefore, the old curriculum was so effective and it should be returned back to. Another thing is, the curriculum had a good information. The curriculum had a good logical organization and it was very clear since it was characterized by a standard curriculum, whereby everything that was put in the curriculum was not based on the interests of the learners, unlike in the new curriculum, whereby we intend to choose the interests of learners. And we know very well that we as learners, in our processes of gaining knowledge, we are always like young people. We want to just be reminded, and we cannot sell a serious curriculum that contains a weighty information. Therefore, I suggest that the old curriculum should be returned back to. Ladies and gentlemen, progress does not mean abandoning what works. It means improving on it. The old curriculum may not have been perfect, but reliable, fair, and sustainable. The new one is a dream, too far for Uganda's current reality. For the sake of stability, quality, and equality, ladies and gentlemen, let's revert the old curriculum system for the progress of Uganda. Thank you very much. I wish you the best, but ladies and gentlemen, the old curriculum should be returned back to.
As the first opposer from our side, my point of information, by the way, my point of information was the way you introduced the motion was not fair. And you never gave us a roadmap, the framing, the standard, the model, and a satisfying introduction. So according to the negators, the definition, you had to define the house, which is the organization, or the panel, or the council. You had to define return. You had to define the curriculum, that is a standard syllabus for any country. You had to define the lower secondary curriculums. the new lower secondary curriculum, the one you explained as the competence-based curriculum. And then the old curriculum, you told us it's the pre-existing curriculum. But my concern was about the house and then reverting. So your definition was not fair. And then you never gave us a roadmap. In this speech, I will first clarify the motion by framing, and then I will offer two substantive arguments about why the old curriculum should be reverted to. My colleagues and I should not be reverted to. My colleagues will offer the other two substantive arguments on the same case. So you never gave us the standard. This house is therefore expected to vote for the team that better explains why either of the two curriculums should be followed in the country or allowed in the country. Then the model. I'm giving you a fair model. This house, the government will abolish the new lower secondary curriculum and reinstate the old ordinary level curriculum nationwide. This change will apply to all public and private schools effective the next academic year, and the government will separate textbooks and teacher guides from the old curriculum. Examination and assessment will resume as the old style, and the teachers will follow the old syllabus. That is the model. Any point of information?
Yes. Well, as you say, in your definition of curriculum, that curriculum refers to a standard syllabus in any country. I would like to not accept that, because my first speaker said curriculum is multifaceted. Ladies and gentlemen,
Do you have a 10th edition Oxford Dictionary? Try that, please. Thank you.
not everything.
10th edition. My time. And the house. Imagine reverting to a curriculum which has been in place for over 60 years without revision. This is quoted from Janet Kataham 7. She said the need to revise the curriculum was overdue since it had been revised since the colonial education system and was introduced. The colonial education system was introduced. The old curriculum churning out graduates with no practical skills to meet the demands of the labor market. That is known worldwide, that these people are based on, they do practicals, and we did more of the theory. Those of the old curriculum. Thank you. And then my first substantive argument. Development of hands-on skills essential for the 21st century. The competence-based curriculum emphasizes entrepreneurship and practical projects, giving learners real-world survival skills. Uganda's economy is shifting from purely academic jobs to skill-driven opportunities. The competence-based curriculum equips students to be job creators rather than job seekers. This will enable students not to wait or search for white-collar jobs, which are scarce in a growing country like Uganda. According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the Statistical Report 2024 shows that 78% of Ugandans are below 30 years of age. A bigger portion of these are the working age, who are mostly unemployed. For example, integrating skills based on learning like tailoring, ICT training, help youth cope up and avoid poverty. This study was done in Jinja North Division 2022 by the Paradigm Press. By continuing with the competence-based curriculum, Uganda addresses youth unemployment, empowers learners, achieving the Uganda 2040 mission. Thank you. The better competence-based analysis. The better competence-based assessment. There is a change in grading and assessment techniques such as B, MO. New competence-based curriculum introduces a continuous assessment cycle and project work, making evaluation more comprehensive. This allows ability demonstration through the cycle and limits the old style where learners were judged on a day exam after years of reading. According to UNEB, on 8th, 7th, 2024, the new vision, the new UCE grading system now includes 20% for continuous assessment and 80% examinations and project work. My example, students are able to do project work in different subjects which are examined and graded by their own teachers, after which the results are submitted to UNEB. This system reduces examination stress, promotes fairness, and ensures learners to evaluate a broader range of abilities beyond their memory. Thank you. My colleagues will come and elaborate more about the recognition of life and social skills, equity, and fairness. Thank you. Any point of information?
Yes, I have one. Well, you're saying that there are better competence-based analysis in the new curriculum, but I would like to inform you that I'm a teacher. I've been teaching in the new curriculum, whereby we are given scripts, we mark, but you're not supposed to give a learner less than 15%, even if that learner is not competent enough. Because
My time. Thank you.
is Musa Ujame Sunday going to oppose the motion, but so saying that, hey, going to propose the motion. Going to propose the motion by so saying that this house will rebut the Uganda's whole curriculum. This house will rebut the Uganda's whole curriculum rather than continuing with the new post-secondary curriculum. As the second speaker, I will first rebut on what the first speaker said on the other side. Her first point was, we are now, it is much important to deal with practical than theory-based. Now, on that note, therefore, I'm not even was curriculum, the current curriculum is over 60 years old. I want to inform my negators that even the old curriculum, even the best curriculum on planet Earth can still fail. If one, we are unprepared for it. Two, we don't have adequate resources to implement it. One of our first speakers here, who is our senior doctor, said at the university, we are still in the knowledge-based curriculum. Check that situation therefore. Primary level, we are still in subject-based. Then we come to secondary. That's when they have just started implementing the what? The competence based. Now we come to university, still knowledge-based. If the government wanted to implement new competence-based curriculum, why did they roll out the whole system so that it becomes uniform? That system is it is not uniform. Oh, we are saying that it's only the secondary students who need practical skills. Don't we need practical skills? We also need them. Number two, and that's therefore, I also want to assure the negators that by the end of my speech, you should be able to comfortably walk from there and come this side because of my second speech. Uganda has implemented the new curriculum because we are trying to copy we are trying to go with the global trend. I want to inform people that, as I say, even if you copy, you cannot become the best if you're not ready for it. No, thank you. The other thing is, she also talks about the better competence-based analysis, where there is continuous assessment. On that note, therefore, I want to say that This kind of assessments for seniors are giving teachers burden who are not ready for it. Teachers who are teaching that curriculum were trained in the old curriculum. Isn't it? Meaning that Uganda was not ready yet to implement the what? The new curriculum. Thank you. Now on my points, my first speaker had told you of the points. She explained the first one. I'll emphasize the second and the third very well, because you just gave a small hint. The whole curriculum was organized and clear, whereby it is proven first of all, established with a structure that was well understood by all stakeholders, including, when I say stakeholders, you know the stakeholders operational, the parents, the teachers, the pupils themselves, the learners, we call them learners. Everyone had understood the what? The system. Check right now what is happening. When the curriculum was released, even the teachers themselves were confused. And up to right now, even the teachers, some teachers are still confused, simply because Uganda was not ready for it.
Point of information.
Allow me.
Do you remember by incident that parents or other stakeholders were called upon to be trained and assessed when the old curriculum was implemented?
Yes, I remember, but remember our parents. Remember our parents, most of them? Some of them, by the way, they were, some of our parents don't know English. So you cannot tell them that you want to talk to them, that you want to understand how the curriculum is being implemented. And up to right now, they have not understood the system. I thank you.
Team of farmers, as well as the leaders, our house. Good afternoon. Sister Ryan Muhammad, team leader. Secretary. First of all, according to our model, the one by my first speaker, it says the government will abolish the new secondary curriculum and reinstate the old ordinary level curriculum nationwide. This change will apply to all public and private schools effective next academic year, and the government will resupply textbooks and teacher guides from the old curriculum. Examination and assessment will resume as in the old style. The teachers will follow the old syllabus. This model limits us to only ensuring that the curriculum moves within Uganda. I will first refer to the point this calling and showed here. The curriculum simply is being implemented because we are trying to cope what's happening abroad. This model doesn't allow us to exceed discount. And mind you, even if we are trying to copy abroad, we are trying to cope up with the development. Uganda is in the third world. How are we going to make Uganda a better country when we are not looking at our role models? How are you going to ensure that you have better infrastructure when you are still thinking backward? Who are you going to look at to improve this country? Should we keep talking about peace and stability all the time? House. Should we have got to this point? The other thing, he came and said that the preparation wasn't uniform, the preparation wasn't sufficient enough. Mind you, this new curriculum you're seeing today being implemented in 2020, its plan started in 2008. It was ready by 2016 to be implemented in 2017. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni had to come in and say, I am not certain of what you guys are doing. National Council, National Curriculum Development Center. They had to revise it again until 2022, and in 2020 that it was implemented. How can you say that time is not enough in preparation? What kind of time do you need? And mind you, you say training and stakeholders. You say we have to involve in stakeholders. Where you denied my point of information. I asked you, none of your parents were going down to come and discuss what you will study. None. You even mentioned that they don't like English. I'm sorry, but they are not supposed to be consulted. The only reason why they know about this old curriculum is just because they went through the same curriculum. If they did, and if they didn't, they still can't help you with homework. Trust me. Their first speaker came and said here, among their substantive points, that the old curriculum is simply good and we should refer to it just because there was order from the teacher in the classroom. Really? Just an order to make people study information of 1960s? Really? These are mature people who can understand. They're not toddlers. You can simply talk to them. You don't need ABC in class and they'll understand. There are schools that don't have punishment, mind you. They have rules and regulations. In their writing so well. Another thing, they give their point as knowledge centered from the teacher, because literally when you're looking for knowledge, so we have to see from other people. Not allowed. Knowledge being centered from the teacher. Do you mean the new competency-based curriculum coming up with things to do with research, libraries, internet, and then allowing ICT tools to be used in school? Are they not going to get knowledge? What are they looking for? It's just a better approach and a better way to find outdated, advanced, and valid knowledge. These are not being in classes that are all not having an organ who will be to independence, not talking about the first president of Uganda being tested. Really? That's not more than enough. We need something that's going to better Uganda. But the 2020 that Uganda is already achieving this mission. Also, as my first speaker said, I'll come in and present the other one. I'm going to talk about the point of recognition of life and social skills essential for the society.
Point of information.
Allowed.
I want to inform you that as you say that the president told those people that I am not understanding what you're saying, I want to inform you that it's not the president who changes the curriculum.
But you say,
and I want also
my time, please.
That the policy.
My time.
The policy.
I need to remember that. The president had to come in and decide whether this curriculum will be implemented. Told them go back. They brought him back a reward, and he had to answer and allow them again and give them a go ahead. So I was saying the competency-based curriculum acknowledges that not all learning is academic. Not really. Life skills are equally important. They build confidence, resilience, and emotional intelligence. These skills are as more essential as academic performance for a student's success and mental being. According to Uganda Radio Network Report 2023, Uganda National Examinations Board released a statement saying new samples directly assess communication. The new sample papers, the examination, they directly assess communication and decision-making abilities. Within the paper, for those of you who have seen the questions that have been sent to those papers, you really need to research and know what the question is all about. You really need to research and understand which topic is sent in from. Thank you.
Judges at the Kyambogo fraternity, Uganda is outside there. We stand here with a chance to debate about the old curriculum in line with the new curriculum. I would want to begin with a statement that we are not against progress, but we are against the confusion that is being brought by the so-called new curriculum. So therefore, I stand to begin with the point that were being spoken by the first presenter from the proposers when he was talking about skills. I don't know why they are dwelling more about skills. With point of information, I want to tell you that creativity or skills is not created by syllabus. That is from point of view, it is not created by syllabus. So we should not drive everything. Every individual is coming and is talking about skills. Creativity, therefore it is not created by the syllabus that as they assume, but it is all about the resources. In one session we visited a school where a teacher was asked to face, or he was guiding 120 students. But among these 120 students, every student needs to get items. But resources are not there. And we are really saying skill, creativity, unemployment. How are we going to face the challenge or to solve the challenge of unemployment, yet even the resources are not there, as they say. So I want to assure you that unemployment in Uganda is not about curriculum. It's not about the competence. If you read history, it's about the poor politicians, poor governance, limited industries and corruption. It is not about curriculum. So I want to stand a chance still to say that our old curriculum still stands. Maybe to emphasize our points, they talked about emphasis on knowledge acquisition. simplified exam, well assessment. When we explain the point of assessment, they overtraining about it. But I can't give my student, for sure, as a teacher who is taught ethics, I can't give a student 0 to out of 20. Teachers are being corrupted. Naturally, they are giving students 20 marks over 20. But if you bring the real person in reality, the student has no content. And my worry is, when we are on curriculum, the knowledge-based products, how are we going to create or to train the competence-based reactants chemistry-wise? So, the other point is also organization and clarity. All the curriculum was so organized and so clear that teachers were giving students the knowledge that is all around. So we should not over-base on what we are calling this organization. You are not allowed. So from her point, the first speaker was talking about the issue of Honorable Kataham 7, talking about the curriculum lacking revision. It's still the same lady who currently was saying that we can't implement it in AA. Why? The same person. So I would request to see the same members to go and make research about that kind of information. We are not allowed. So from that point of view, I want to inform our opposers that all the curriculum is the best version. Thank you for listening. Allow me to submit.
The jury, farmers and educators, and the house at large, a good afternoon. I'm here to negate the motion on the panel, which is this house would revert the Uganda's board curriculum rather than continuing with the new lower secondary curriculum. I 99.9% negate that motion. Now, beginning with the recurring speaker, he said that he is not against the new progression, but he is against the confusion. I think the confusion is with only him, not the whole country. Because he said that teachers have not been trained, but according to Nile Post, that is an NBS presentation or like a program. 40% of the teachers have been trained. 40% of the teachers have been trained. That was by 2024. 40% of the teachers were trained to deliver information or to teach the competency-based curriculum. But by now, which is 2025, 80% of the teachers have been trained for your own information. Then one of the speakers said that was the first speaker. She said that Uganda is too far from coping up with the new curriculum. How sure are you that it is too far? Another thing, we are on development. My fellow speaker said that Uganda has its role models, the role model countries. How will we be on the same pace with those developed countries if we do not change our education? Another thing is organized and career. They are saying that the old curriculum was organized and career, but is it real? Is it organized and career? More than the competency-based? You have not evidenced that. I want to tell you that, I want to inform you that the new lower secondary curriculum is organized because the Uganda National Examinations Board gave a clear grading of the curriculum. 20% from the assessments and 80% containing a project work and the final exam. So if you talk about organization, I don't know what you're meaning. Then corrupt teachers, not allowed, thank you. Corrupt teachers, if you are saying that old curriculum, I think, would be more corrupt. The teachers will be more corrupt than the new curriculum, because in the new curriculum, we are having the project work that is being done by the students. And that project work is presented to you now to show what the students have been having practically. Then they are saying that the Uganda is not prepared. That was 2025 this year. In July. June. That is when the Ministry of Finance in Uganda published the national budget. And 1.7 billion Uganda shilling was proposed to 1.7 Uganda billion shillings was proposed to implement the new curriculum on A level, just because of the corruption you have been talking about, is that it is not implemented at the A level. Hello.
Yes, as you have said,